Imagine waking up one morning and realizing that a company you were watching for years has suddenly become the next Tesla, but you missed your chance. This is exactly what many investors are thinking about SpaceX right now. A company that started by launching rockets is now trying to build something much bigger, a complete space empire. But the biggest question is, can normal investors buy SpaceX before it becomes available to everyone? And if you somehow get the chance, would it actually be a smart investment? Today, we are going to break down everything about investing in SpaceX before an IPO, the possible future value, the risks, and my personal opinion. But before we continue, remember this is only my analysis and not financial advice. Now let's get into it. Most people understand public stocks. You open a brokerage app, search a company, and buy shares. Companies like Tesla, Apple, and Nvidia work this way. But SpaceX is different. SpaceX is still a private company. That means you cannot simply open your stock app and type SpaceX. There is no normal ticker symbol, no public market price, no easy buy button. And this is exactly why investors are so interested, because sometimes the biggest opportunities appear before everyone can access them. Private companies can have secondary markets. This means early investors, employees, or shareholders can sometimes sell their private shares to other investors. Some private investment platforms allow access to these types of deals. But here comes the twist. It is not as simple as people think. Usually these investments are limited. They may require large amounts of money, they may require approval, and many ordinary investors may not even qualify. So when people say, how can I buy SpaceX stock today? The real answer is, for most people, it is not easy. But the reason people keep watching SpaceX is because the company is doing something unique. It is not only about rockets. The biggest story might actually be Starlink. Starlink is SpaceX's satellite internet network. The idea is to connect people around the world using thousands of satellites. Imagine providing internet to places where traditional companies cannot easily build infrastructure. That could become a massive business. And if Starlink continues growing, it could completely change how investors look at SpaceX. Because suddenly SpaceX is not just a rocket company. It becomes a technology and communication company. But the story gets even bigger, because Elon Musk is not thinking small. SpaceX is working on reusable rockets, lower launch costs, future space missions, and a long-term vision of expanding human activity beyond Earth. Now the big question is, can a company like this become one of the biggest companies in history? Now let's talk about the future. The reason investors are watching SpaceX is because they're not only looking at today, they're looking at the next 10 to 20 years. Some analysts believe that if SpaceX continues growing, it could become one of the most valuable companies in the world. Could it reach a $500 billion valuation? Could it eventually cross the $1 trillion mark? Nobody knows. But the possibility is what creates excitement. My personal opinion, I think the biggest opportunity around SpaceX might not only be owning SpaceX itself. The bigger opportunity could be understanding the entire space economy. Because history shows something interesting. When a major industry grows, it is not only one company that wins. During the internet boom, many companies benefited from the growth of technology. The same thing could happen with space. Companies making satellites, companies building space technology, companies providing components. They could all become part of this future. But now let's talk about the biggest risk. Because every exciting investment story has another side. Space is extremely expensive. Rocket development takes billions of dollars. Failures can happen. Competition is increasing. And investors sometimes pay too much for future dreams. A great company does not always mean a great investment. The price matters. Imagine SpaceX becomes public one day. Millions of people rush to buy shares. The excitement becomes huge. But what if the stock price is already too expensive? That is where smart investors need patience. The question is not only, is SpaceX amazing? The real question is, am I buying at the right price? That is the difference between investing and just following hype. Now I want to ask you, if SpaceX IPO happens tomorrow, would you buy immediately? Or would you wait and watch the market first? Tell me your opinion in the comments. Personally, I believe SpaceX is one of the most fascinating companies to watch in the next decade, not because of rockets, but because it is trying to build the future, and the biggest investment opportunities often come from companies creating something that does not exist yet. But always remember, high growth also comes with high risk. Do your own research before making any investment decision. If you enjoyed this video, subscribe for more stock market analysis, future companies, and investment ideas. See you in the next video.